TJ, you left nothing to chance this time, not a close decision at all. I mean, how did you feel about your performance, getting in there and really putting, closing the chapter on this with Raphael Assuncao?
You know, I felt good. I was definitely confident going into the decision, but you always got that bad feeling in your gut when you're going to the judges. You know, I don't like to leave it in the hands of the judges, but Raphael's a tough guy. You know, I know he's a counter puncher. He throws big power, and I couldn't be overly aggressive and get careless. You know, so I had to fight him smart, looking for the finish. He can take a punch. You know, I hit him with a hard right head kick that I thought was going to put him out, but you know, he's a tough guy.
How many more fights or wins would you say would it take for you to get right back into fighting for the belt again?
0. I should have already fought for the title. I want my belt back. I feel like it's rightfully mine anyways. I feel like I won that fight, so I think I'm ready for it now.
Was there any discussion at all about a rematch? Obviously, maybe put the favorite fight right away, but you know.
Yeah, there was definitely discussion. I went and met with the UFC, and they thought I won that fight, you know, and so I thought I had it on lock that I was going to get the rematch, but unfortunately it didn't go down that way. You know, it was Uriah's turn. They figured that, you know, his name carried him into a title fight, so you got to roll with the punches. I got to get a win back over a guy that I lost to 3 years ago that I felt another split decision that I shouldn't have had.
So you think next should be definitely the title shot?
100%, yeah. I'm shooting for that title.
What's different in the rematch with Dominick?
You know, I got to go in there and do the same thing, just a little bit better. You know, like I said, I feel like I won that fight. There's things I definitely got to change up. You know, and no matter with what fight, this fight here, you know, there's definitely things that I should have done better. You know, I should have finished him. You know, there's definitely I'm a better fighter than that even, and I'm going to go in there and prove that when I get my title shot.
Was there anything that surprised you in the fight with Assuncao in the rematch?
No, it's kind of expected. You know, he threw some kicks, some good kicks, some good spinning heel kicks and stuff that were pretty fast. But we trained for all that. You know, trained to counter his kicks and. I knew he's a counter fighter. I had to stay outside of his power and touch him up a little bit, you know, not go in there for the big punch.
I know it was a little while ago, but what does it feel like to get revenge?
It feels really good, man. It feels real good to get that win back that you felt you already had and kind of got robbed of, you know. So I'm going to continue to get them all back.
Does it feel like it comes in a good time where, like you said, you're looking ahead, you want that rematch again?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking ahead now. I mean, I definitely wanted to during camp, but it was hard. You know, I had to make sure to focus on Raphael. You know, I wanted to think about fighting for that title, but I had to make sure to take one step at a time, really focus on Raphael, because if I looked past him, you know, I would have lost this fight.
Being a Sacramento guy, they're opening a brand new arena in October. Is that something you'd like to help christen right there?
That'd be awesome, man. I mean, absolutely. I mean, it's very close to home. You know, Angels Camp's about an hour and a half from Sacramento, where I grew up, and so my whole hometown would be there. So it'd be awesome. Yeah.
It seems like if Dominick defends his title next, they'll be on that UFC Vancouver card. That's kind of you know they wanted to add a championship.
His
fight.
Next title fight's gonna be in Vancouver, you think?
Possibly.
Well, then I'm gonna be in Vancouver.
That's what I was gonna say. Well, I was gonna ask because you're supposed to fight in Montreal against Barao, and that didn't happen. Is fighting in Canada something you're pretty excited about?
I fought in Montreal also against Issy Tamura when George St. Pierre fought Nick Diaz. So it's they're huge. I mean, they're huge fans up there. Canadians, they love their MMA, and you know, I get recognized more in Canada than anywhere else almost. So.
Have you ever been to Vancouver before?
I've never been to Vancouver. No.
Awesome.
TJ, can you talk about the evolution of your striking? I mean, you know, you gave so many different looks tonight, some different feints, and you had some like hand gestures and giving different levels for the eyes. Was this all part of the plan and just part of the evolution of your striking?
I guess I didn't even know I was doing it. I guess a couple people afterwards told me I was moving my hands around all crazy, and everyone loved it. But I was just kind of getting him to watch the hands, I guess, and kind of getting him to react off it, kind of seeing his reactions off of my feints and seeing what he plans on doing.
And you did have a little bit less footwork. You were planning a little bit more. Was that part of the plan?
It's hard to move a ton against him because he's so flat-footed and he wants me to come in hard, you know. So I had to stay at a distance that was safe as well as technical. You know, I wanted to, like I said, pull outside of his power. If I move too much, it's going to be kind of gone, you know. So I wanted to be close enough that I can get out away from his power and then return back on my punches.
And how much do you feel like your striking has evolved? Because do you feel like you've peaked yet? Because you've learned so much from Dwayne. It seems like every fight you're giving us something a little bit different.
Oh, Dwayne's always coming up with new stuff, you know. So I have so much more to grow. I mean, I don't think I'm ever going to peak. You know, I mean, at least that's my plan. I don't want to ever peak because I want to continue to grow as a fighter. I've been traveling the world, learning from new people as well. I went up to TriStar a little bit and went up there, learned from Faraz and George St. Pierre and all the guys up there. Muscle Farm's done everything they possibly can for us to have an awesome camp there. You know, I got Lisa Bowling as my wrestling coach, Elliot Marshall's my jiu-jitsu coach. You know, and I'm growing in all aspects, not just my striking. I got to get better everywhere. You know.
Is there plans to go back to TriStar, you know, for your next fight?
Yeah, I'd love to keep I want to travel to all the great minds of MMA and continue to learn. You know, I mean, that's what's not going to hold you back. You know, you got to continue to learn new things.
What's something that training at TriStar helped you in this fight in particular, if you could point to one thing?
You know, just new looks with guys my size, and then also, you know, for us, kind of helping with the mental aspect of things, and just kind of seeing some of the best in the world how they work out as well. You know, I mean, you got to take a little bit from everywhere you go. I mean, everyone's got something to teach. I don't care if you're from the bottom of the totem pole to the top. You know.
Was he much different this time fighting him?
I don't know. I mean, he did what I expected, I guess. You know, I mean, he was fast and powerful and had some good takedown defense. You know, but kind of what I expected.
To pitch that shutout, did that go about as expected?
The shutout?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was hoping to knock him out, but yeah, I mean, I knew that I could win every round. Absolutely.
When you threw that right, you got him the first time. The second one dropped him. Did you think that first one was going to get him too? And what was different in that second one where he went down?
Just the timing. You know, I kind of seen him winding up for his kicks, and the plan was to counter some kicks. He kind of loads up for big power kicks, and I was just kind of in the right place at the right time.
Dominick's working tonight.
Yeah.
Fox does. So send him a message. You know, he's listeting right now. What's the message you send to Dominick Cruz?
I've already been saying it, man. I'm coming back for what's rightfully mine. You know, he knows I won that fight. I won that fight. You know, it was funny. After my fight, I went and watched the BJPin.com, like behind the scenes, like the cornerman. You know, going in after the fourth round, going into the fifth, his cornermen are telling him that I won the fight. He has to finish me. You know, and after the fight, he tells me, "Hey, man, I didn't do too bad." You know, like. And his coaches are telling my coaches that I won that fight. So they all know that I won the fight, but they want to act like they're all champs afterwards, you know. But just don't run too much, dude, and I'm coming for you.
TJ, this is probably going to be the last time that we'll see you on an undercard. What was it like in the preparation where not all the focus was on you in the main event? You got to focus more so just towards the actual fight. Was this a drastic change for you?
It was nice, man. I mean, the last 4 fights have been title fights, and they've all been a lot of attention and a lot of drama. And so it's kind of nice to be able to just focus on my opponent and focus on myself getting better and get back to the sport that I love, you know, rather than talking all the crap and having to sell it. You know, it's more of just the true martial artist and loving the sport.
You mentioned Muscle Farm a little while ago.
Yeah.
And how they've been helping you. Considering what happened to John Jones, does it ever worry you about supplements you take and what?
No, I have the utmost confidence in Muscle Farm, man. They not only just the supplements that they take, but I train at their facility. You know, I'm an in-house athlete. They sponsor all the UFC fighters that are inside their gym, and they've done wonders for us. So yeah, I got no concerns at all.
And considering what happened with him, what do you think fighters are going to need to do so that this doesn't happen in the future?
I don't know, man. I mean, take stuff you trust. I really don't know. I mean, I don't know the full story of it. I've been trying to stay out of it just because I've been focusing on my fight. I knew that they got in trouble with it, but I don't really know the details.
In thinking of Dom, I mean, did you take much away from that Cruz Faber fight?
You know, I kind of knew that's how the fight was going to go down. You know, I've obviously trained with Faber for a long time, and fighting Cruz and watching him, I knew that his footwork's going to be a little bit too much, a little too fast for him, and that's how the fight I expected to go down.
What type of threat would he pose to you?
Who?
Dom.
I don't know. I mean, he's a good fighter, man. He's got good timing. He's got awkward movement. He doesn't have he's not super technical. He doesn't keep his hands up when he's throwing. He's moving all crazy, but that's what is also good about him in his aspect. You know, he's got good movement and good timing. So it's something you got to kind of figure out. And now I have a little more tape on him to watch him since he hadn't fought in 3 years when I fought him the first time.
Are you willing to wait for that title shot, or are you willing to fight somebody else in the interim?
I want the title shot, man. I I don't like not being called champ. You know what I mean? Once you have that belt wrapped on your waist, you want it back.
So if the opportunity presents itself, you'll take it. But obviously, if it doesn't, would you take another fight, or would you wait for Dominick Cruz?
I don't know, man. I'm pushing for the belt. You know, I got to do whatever I can to get it.